The conversation around Caleb Williams entering another offseason with Chicago is already heating up, and the focus is clear from the start. He is talking openly about tightening his footwork, syncing up better with his receivers, and making sure everyone is aligned long before training camp arrives. That mindset alone says a lot. This is a quarterback who understands that real growth happens away from the cameras, in the quiet reps that build timing and trust. The Bears are heading into organized team activities and the build-up toward the next season with a quarterback who knows exactly where he needs to be better and is already putting plans in motion to get there. What really stands out when you look at Caleb's year is how self-aware he has become. There was visible growth across multiple areas of his game. But the next step is all about consistency, not just flashing for a quarter or a half, but sustaining a steady level of play across entire games and over the course of a long season. That means raising his completion percentage, being smarter about avoiding bad sacks, and making the routine plays look routine every single week. There were throws he is absolutely capable of making that simply did not connect at times. And those moments are the difference between good and great at this level. Chemistry is another huge piece of the puzzle. The Bears cannot afford to lead the league in drops again. And that is where off-season work really matters. Extra reps before organized team activities, throwing sessions that are not scripted, and developing a feel for where receivers will be without hesitation all add up. Those small details compound as the off-season progresses, especially as Caleb moves deeper into Ben Johnson's offense. This system demands precision, and the encouraging part is that he already showed meaningful improvement in several key areas during the season. When you compare his early season operation to what he looked like later on, the difference is obvious. From week 1 through the playoff run, his command at the line of scrimmage took a massive leap. The number of times he changed plays, adjusted protections, and checked into better looks grew steadily. Pre-snap penalties, which were a real issue early, virtually disappeared as the year went on. That is the mark of a quarterback starting to truly own an offense. And it happened in his first year under a new play caller. There is still room to grow, but the foundation is clearly there. Post-snap, the reads and decision-making were mostly solid. Caleb's eyes are generally in the right place, and he processes coverage well. The challenge comes with balancing confidence and restraint. His arm talent is elite, and that sometimes tempts him into forcing throws into tight windows that do not need to be tested. There were a few moments like that sprinkled throughout the season, including one late example where he tried to fit a sidearm throw into traffic while drifting toward the sideline. Those are learning moments, not red flags, and they come with trusting his talent. A little too much. For the most part, he made the correct decisions, and improved accuracy will only elevate that part of his game. One area where the leap was undeniable was the deep ball. A year ago, it was among the weakest aspects of his profile. This season, it flipped completely. His downfield accuracy was well above average, and it directly fueled explosive plays. Chicago generated more explosive gains than any team in the league, and that was not an accident. Caleb's ability to push the ball vertically with touch and confidence changed how defenses had to play the Bears, opening up the entire offense. Perhaps the most dramatic improvement came in sack avoidance. The numbers tell the story. His pressure-to-sack rate went from near the bottom of the league to well under 10%, a remarkable turnaround. Total sacks dropped drastically, and while the offensive line deserves credit for its improvement, Caleb himself deserves just as much. He became far better at sliding in the pocket, throwing the ball away, and understanding when a play was truly dead. That kind of growth changes games and keeps an offense on schedule. Leadership is another area where he took a clear step forward. Early on, he talked about listening first and learning from veterans, and that approach paid off. As the season progressed, his voice became stronger. You could hear it in his press conferences and see it on the field. Teammates responded to him, respected him, and followed his lead. By the end of the year, he was undeniably one of the leaders of the team, which is exactly what you expect from a quarterback taken first overall. The idea that the jump from year 1 to year 2 is real applies here, and now the question becomes whether he can make another leap from year 2 to year 3. The focus points are clear. Footwork and accuracy go hand in hand, and refining those details could unlock another level. The talent is already there. The flashes are already there. What separates a true superstar from a gifted quarterback is consistency, and that is the final hurdle Caleb is working toward. You can see it developing, piece by piece, within this offense. One moment that sparked a lot of discussion was the overtime interception involving DJ Moore. Caleb explained it as a miscommunication, a read based on coverage where he expected the route to flatten under the safety. From his perspective, there was space, and he trusted his receiver to feel the leverage the same way he did. The route ended up carrying deeper than anticipated, and the defender made a great play on the ball. It was a high-leverage moment, and the result was costly. But it also revealed something important about Caleb's mindset. That throw showed growth. He was not simply executing a design blindly, he was reading the coverage, throwing to a spot and trusting his receiver to see it the same way. That trust did not pay off in that instance, but it is part of becoming a high-level quarterback. Sometimes you bank those reps, learn from them, and adjust the next time you are in that situation. It was not solely on one player, and Caleb handled it with maturity, choosing not to point fingers and instead owning his part in the outcome. After the season ended, his appreciation for the team, the coaches, and the city was clear. There was a genuine sense of buy-in that had not been there the year before. Things did not click in the previous regime, and there were real questions about development and trust. Bringing in Ben Johnson changed the entire dynamic. The city responded to Caleb's play, his competitiveness, and his ability to deliver in big moments. You could feel the connection forming between quarterback and fan base, and that energy matters in a place like Chicago. Caleb is close, not finished. Not a finished product, but close. He understands that the next step is tightening the screws, focusing on details and staying locked in from the first snap to the last. If he does that, the Bears are not just talking about potential anymore. They are talking about something that can become very real, very quickly. The conversation naturally shifts toward the players around Caleb, because his growth is tied directly to how reliable the pieces around him become. Rome Odunze addressed the season with honesty, and that alone carries weight. He did not shy away from admitting that he fell short of being the catalyst he wanted to be for this offense. That level of self-critique matters for a young receiver who has all the physical tools, but knows the standard is higher. He talked about going back to the drawing board, reevaluating his routine, and figuring out what needs to change so his production matches his ability. There is no question about the talent with Rome. He can run the full route tree. He has the frame and body control to win contested catches. And early in the season, it looked like everything was lining up for a breakout year. Then a few missed opportunities crept in, confidence wavered, and the foot injury complicated everything. Missing time stalled his momentum. And when he returned, the rhythm was not the same. Still, playing through a stress fracture late in the year showed toughness and commitment, even though it does not erase the critical drops that change games. He knows that, and he owned it. Consistency is the common thread here. Just like it is with Caleb, when Rome is more dependable at the catch point, it directly elevates the quarterback. Fewer drops mean fewer second and long situations, fewer forced throws, and more trust on timing routes. The two of them spending extended time together in the offseason could pay huge dividends, especially if Rome's foot heals naturally the way he expects. If he comes back healthy and sharper, he still has the ceiling to be a true difference maker in this offense up front. Darnell Wright's emergence has been one of the most important developments for Chicago. He spoke about wanting to be with the Bears for his entire career, and that sentiment lines up perfectly with his performance. He took a clear step forward each season and made a major leap this year in Ben Johnson's system. His combination of size, power, and athleticism fits exactly what you want from a tackle. He has become a force in the run game and a reliable presence in pass protection. What makes his season even more impressive is what he played through. Torn ligaments in his elbow did not slow him down, and he was on the field for nearly every snap. That kind of durability and toughness is exactly what teams pay for, especially at a premium position. Elite tackles do not come cheap, and the market reflects that reality. Right tackles at the top of the league are earning massive deals, and Darnell has positioned himself to be among them. With his fourth-year and fifth-year options still available, Chicago has flexibility, but locking him up sooner rather than later feels like smart business. His development also validates the decision to draft him when they did. There were other names fans favored at the time, but Darnell has outperformed that entire group. He has become one of the most dependable young linemen in football, and protecting your franchise quarterback starts with players like him. For a team building toward sustained success, investing in that foundation is not optional. On the defensive side, the future of the secondary brings some tough decisions. Jaquan Brisker spoke candidly about the possibility that his final game might have come in a Bears uniform, and the emotion behind that was real. If that performance was his last, it was a strong one. He flew around the field, led the team in tackles, and delivered impact plays in critical moments. Sequences like the one where he recorded a sack, a tackle for loss, and a pass breakup on consecutive snaps showed exactly what he brings when he is locked in. The challenge for Chicago is balance. There are multiple free agents in the secondary, limited resources, and a clear need to get faster on the back end. Some matchups expose that lack of speed late in the season. Even though the unit held up well against certain opponents, modern offenses are built around explosive, twitchy receivers, and defending them requires range and recovery speed. That reality forces hard choices about who stays and who goes. Kevin Byard's impact cannot be ignored in that conversation. His veteran presence stabilized the defense, and his production spoke for itself, leading the league in interceptions while consistently tackling well in space is not easy, and he delivered all season long, beyond the stat sheet. His leadership and understanding of the game showed up in critical moments. Having a proven veteran who sees the field at that level can elevate everyone around him, especially younger defensive backs still learning the nuances of coverage. The bigger picture is that Chicago is becoming more attractive as a destination, a young quarterback ascending, an offense with clear direction, and a coaching staff that players believe in changes how the league views you. Veterans want to win, but they also want stability and opportunity. Seeing the city rally around its quarterback and the locker room fully buy into the vision sends a message that this is a place where something real is being built. All of these threads connect back to the same idea: talent is here, development is happening. The next step is tightening margins, making fewer mistakes, and turning flashes into habits. That applies to Caleb, to his receivers, to the offensive line, and to the defense. The pieces are on the board, and the foundation is set. What happens next depends on how consistently this group executes when the pressure is highest and the moments matter most. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are growing loud around the league that a dramatic internal rupture may have led to one of the most shocking roster decisions of the season in Chicago. According to sources close to this situation, Bears general manager Ryan Poles is believed to have personally ordered the removal of a key star from the team following a heated confrontation inside the locker room. The story, still surrounded by silence from the organization, has already ignited speculation about discipline, leadership, and a franchise once again facing turbulence behind closed doors. The alleged incident reportedly unfolded shortly after a tense moment within the team environment, when emotions were running high and accountability was demanded. Voices were raised, lines were crossed, and what began as a disagreement is said to have escalated into a full-blown locker room clash. One source claims Poles did not hesitate once he was informed, allegedly delivering a blunt message that echoed through the facility: "He is out of here." Whether those exact words were used remains unclear, but the intent was unmistakable. What makes the rumor even more explosive is the status of the player involved. This was not a fringe name or developmental prospect, but a central figure in the Bears' plans. Someone whose jersey fills the stands and whose presence shapes game plans. Cutting ties so abruptly suggests that the front office may be drawing a hard line, prioritizing culture and control over talent and reputation. Around the league, executives are quietly debating what this could mean. Some see it as a power move from Poles, reinforcing his authority and setting a precedent that no player is bigger than the organization. Others wonder if this points to deeper fractures within the locker room, hinting at frustrations that have been simmering beneath the surface until the Bears break their silence. The story remains in the realm of rumor, yet the smoke is thick, and in the NFL, smoke often means fire. If true, this episode could mark a turning point not just for one player, but for the direction of the franchise itself. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.